Sermon by Rev Amy Uzunoe-Chin.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see familiar faces and new faces this morning. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Amy Uzunoe-Chin, and I'm Associate Minister at the Local Church of Portland, Oregon. I live in Washington. I'm a mother of three, a 26-year-old, 24-year-old, and a 23-year-old. I've known Kishi Sensei since a baby, a child. And I've known Stephanie Sensei since she was my student as a youth camper and coordinator she became coordinator for youth camper. And now we serve together as ministers to go for Kamisama in our respective churches. Today's a little unique. We have a regional seminar afterwards. So today's sermon and the regional seminar this afternoon will focus on three key points concerning Tenchi Kane no Kami. First, the nature I will be talking about the nature of Tenchi Kane no Kami. Second, understanding the relationship between Tenchi Kane no Kami and people through the example of our founder's relationship with Tenchi Kane no Kami. And third, our own relationship, what our relationship looks like with Kami. These are the three main points that will be presented in alignment with the purpose of today's sermon and theme of this year's KCNA Regional Seminar. Today we just held the Tenchi Kane no Kami grand ceremony. This ceremony is an expression, as you heard in the main prayer, of our appreciation to Tenchi Kane no Kami. But who is Tenchi Kane no Kami? In our doctrine, Gorikai 3, Konko Kyoto Gorikai 7, 1-2, it says, Tenchi Kane no Kami is a kami that existed since the beginning of time. It's not any time in between. The universe is not a passing fact. Something which is not a fact will not end. It is essential to have a heart like that of the universe. Even those who do not practice faith receive Kami's blessings. The founder also taught us that Tenchi Kane no Kami's body is Tenchi, which is the universe. Heaven is our father, and earth is our mother. Tenchi Kane no Kami, thus, is the source of all life, giving life to human beings, plants, and all living beings. We are allowed to live with every breath we take, and sustained through every bite of food and every sip of water we receive. This nourishment comes from heaven and earth. It's mountains, the fields, and the rivers, and the sea has been offered here before you today. We can't live even 1 day, 1 minute, 1 second on our own power. You really think about it. It is only through the blessings of Tenchi Kane no Kami that we are alive. The next time we say our meal prayer, let us listen closely to the words. It says, as we partake of this food and drink provided by the Divine Parent, let us be thankful and remember they sustain our gift of life. We live constantly amidst the blessings of Tenchi Kane no Kami, coexisting with all life within this universe. This is why we hold this service, to sincerely express our gratitude and to show appreciation through Goyo, through Goyo using energy that we have as we are alive, the energy from our bodies to prepare for the service, to cook, to do yard work, to prepare for the luncheon that we will have after the service today. Offer tamaguchi, our symbolic offering of our true heart, the flowers, the kibi music, and the sacred dance that was held today. All of these are offerings, expressions of gratitude for the abundant blessings of heaven and earth, and the gift of life itself. In Gorikai 3, Jinkyu Kyoboroku 32, there's a teaching that says, our founder taught us, since Tenchi Kane no Kami is the parent kami of this world, all people who live between heaven and earth are the children of Tenchi Kane no Kami, regardless of whether they practice faith or not. So now the question is, if Tenchi Kane no Kami has given us life and cares for us like a parent, then why do we experience hardships and suffering? This question invites us to examine the relationship between Tenchi Kane no Kami and people. Honestly, I really never deeply thought about it, how we are really connected to Tenchi Kane no Kami, or why, until I had to try to explain it to my own kids. I understood what Kami provides us. I think we all understand, oh, this, I want that. But I could not clearly explain why Kami provides for us, or why Kami cares for us. My children ask me, Mom, why don't you go to service? And I would answer, well, I say thank you to Kami for all the blessings we have received and continue to receive. And then they would say, but I already said thank you before coming to church. Then I would explain, well, it's a special service, like it's a birthday. Everything you have received in your life comes from Kami. And you won't be here if it wasn't for Tenchi Kane no Kami. But they said, but Mom, I thought we are alive because of you and Dad. And it's like, you always tell us to say thank you for everything you do. Yes, I do ask you to say thank you to parents. But I would not even be here if it wasn't for Kami-sama as well. Still, even at that time, I could not fully explain. All I could say was, there are so many things to be grateful for. The air we breathe, the food on our table, being able to see the most ordinary parts of life. It is only when I began to understand the relationship between our founder's life, his faith, his challenges and hardships that he went through, his relationship between him and Tenchi Kane no Kami. Our founder was a farmer. He lived constantly in the conditions of heaven and earth, working outside, at the mercy of the rain, the frost, the flood, and drought. In addition, in those days before modern medicine, life was fragile, and many lives were lost to illnesses and famine. He himself experienced deep loss, including the passing of his children and his beloved cows, total of 7 losses. Our founder faced many hardships, but he never ran away. That was the key. He never ran away from his hardship. Instead, he prayed. He faced his difficulties together with Tenchi Kane no Kami. And through this, he realized that while hardships do exist, suffering is not something we are meant to carry alone. Because Kami is always there to guide and support us through them. And for this reason, our founder prayed and sought help to Tenchi Kane no Kami. However, in this time, there are also many superstitions There's superstitious practices, as people feared what they did not understand or know, and desperately sought to avoid suffering. During these circumstances, our founder came to a deeper realization. He began to understand that people tend to do things using their own power. Well, I know how to solve this. I know how to solve a problem. I know what to do. Believing that they can carry life entirely by themselves. But in truth, life itself is not sustained by human ability alone. He began to see that Tenchi Kane no Kami is not distant or separate from human life, but it is constantly working with heaven and earth, sustaining all existence at every moment. And it is through this understanding that he realized that hardships themselves are not punishment, nor are they meaningless. Rather, they are moments in which we are encouraged to recognize more deeply that we are not living by our own strength. We are not living by our own, we are living by our own strength alone. But to return to awareness of Tenchi Kane no Kami, we realize that we need to return to a Kami-centered heart. Suffering arises when human heart becomes separated from this awareness. When fear, misunderstanding, and self-reliance take over, then we forget that our lives are already being sustained. But even in those moments, Kami never leaves us. And from this, we can begin to understand an important teaching. That Tenchi Kane no Kami does not create suffering for us, but rather supports us, so that even through hardship, we can grow, reflect, and live with gratitude. Our founder began to realize this, and through it he gained the trust of Tenchi Kane no Kami. He understood that Tenchi Kane no Kami is the parent of all humanity, and that relationship between Tenchi Kane no Kami and people is both mutually dependent and interdependent. Kami in turn acknowledged Kongpo Daijin, our founder, and revealed that although many people practice, many still do not understand the true nature of their suffering. People suffer not because Kami wishes them to suffer, but because they become separated in awareness from the reality that their life is already being sustained by Tenchi Kane no Kami. When people begin to rely on their own strength or become caught in fear, misunderstanding, or self-centered thinking, actually arises, not as punishment, but as a result of losing sight of the source of life. Because of this, Kami entrusted our founder with a calling to help teach those who practice faith so that they may become to understand the root of their suffering and return to a way of living grounded in gratitude and awareness of Kami's constant support. Our founder became fully entrusted by Kami, by people, to turn their hearts toward Tenchi Kane no Kami, become Kami-centered once again, and to help Kami save humanity. From this, the sacred mediation as we know it today was born. Sacred mediation is the heart of temple faith. It is where people come not as perfect beings, but people needing guidance and help, carrying worries, illnesses, grief, confusion, and uncertainty. A place where Kongpo Daijin, our founder's followers, disciples, and many others came seeking relief and understanding. It is within this practice that people are able to sincerely face their concerns before coming. and see more clearly the condition of their own heart. I stress again, this is to be able to see their own heart. As you know, our main teaching is divine care depends upon one's own heart. When this awareness returns, everything begins to change. The circumstances may remain, but the heart is no longer lost within them. This is the deeper meaning of our faith. We are not promised a life without hardship. We all go through hardship at one point or another. But we are assured that we are never alone within it. So as we return to our daily lives, may we remember, when we are joyful, let us give thanks. When we are struggling, let us remember we are not alone. When we are uncertain, let us return our hearts to Kami. Step by step, may we learn to live with hearts that are steady, grateful, and aware that life itself is already being sustained by Tenchi Kane no Kami in every breath that we take. This is the teaching our founder lived. This is the path he opened for us, for all of us to follow. So let us awaken to our relationship with Kami in our daily lives and walk the path of our founder, that the founder paved us for us without strain, so that we can face hardships with faith and not be lost in suffering. To recap, we learned about the nature of Tenchi Kane no Kami, and we explored the relationship between Kami and people through the example of our founder's relationship with Tenchi Kane no Kami. As we move forward into the regional seminar after the luncheon, I would like to invite everyone attending or going home to reflect on your own relationship with Tenchi Kane no Kami. Please think about sharing your thoughts on these questions. 1, what kind of relationship do you have with Kami? Is it close? Is it far? Why so? Again, what kind of relationship do you have with Kami? Is it close? Far? Why so? Second question, in what ways does Tenchi Kane no Kami influence, guide, and support you in your daily life? Again, in what ways does Tenchi Kane no Kami influence, guide, and support you in your daily life? For this regional seminar, I also have prepared activities. Usually it's an adult seminar, but my passion is also children. So I have prepared an activity for the children this afternoon. This is my luncheon. I have prepared, it's called Hi Kami notebook for the children. The purpose of this notebook is to help children develop a close and trusting relationship with Kami like a best friend. They can talk to anytime, just as with like a best friend. They're encouraged to share the thoughts, feelings, and challenges openly and to ask for help when needed. Through this practice, I hope that they become to understand that Kami is always with them, listening, caring for them, and ready to guide and protect them whenever and wherever they are. As parents, we cannot always be present physically, nor can we shield our children, though we want to in a class case, from every difficulty. But this notebook is meant to be a safe place, a safe space where they feel heard, loved, and supported by Kami. We encourage them to use it to express their honest feelings, whether it be happy, proud, sad, frustrated, lost, or afraid. Use through the words or this is like a drawing. This is the drawing page, this is the writing page. Whether it be happy, proud, sad, frustrated, lost, afraid, use their words or drawings and to remember that Kami is always listening to them. Reverend Kishi and I would like to encourage all of you, the children, to offer this notebook to Tommy through mediation and present their prayers of gratitude, apology, and request together with Tommy. So I do have stickers and pencils for all of you. Thank you for your time and coming to the service. Thank you very much.